I'm also aware about the fact that ISM has taken initiative to develop cases based on Baltic business conditions and business management in Baltic region. What is a case? Before I go on to talk about how to develop a proper case or how to teach effectively with a case, I would like to mention a challenge, a decision, an opportunity, or a problem, or an issue in an organization which can be developed as a proper case. Let me put it this way. Cases have to be ideally field-based. Most of the cases that we deal in classroom, we have seen, almost all the cases are field-based. Cases can be written with the primary data as well as secondary data, but at the same time, the most effective cases that we deal with are field-based and developed based on the data that the case scientists collect based on primary sources. In a nutshell, we can put it like this: description of an actual situation, real-life situation, commonly involving a decision. Hence, the decision-making process that involves a challenge. It could be an opportunity, it could be a problem. And we need to have a focal person in case if the case has to be a classic case, at least one person. In most cases, it could be Harvard cases, it could be Ivy Business School cases, it could be IMD Switzerland cases, it could be London Business School case, it could be a case developed by one of the famous business schools. Almost all the cases, we have a focal person in the case. So the point I'm trying to focus here is how to come out with a proper case. I'm sure you have the experience of developing cases, but I'm trying to give you some kind of perspective. I'm trying to talk about how one can think about developing a case systematically or scientifically with the proper steps involved. I have given 3 cases for information, and I would also like to talk about these cases. The first case I have given is Louis Vuitton in Japan, and the second case is Professor and illustrates the case with conversation style, and the third one is HP and EDS merger. Let me think about what a case researcher has to do when we think about an organization. I have been trying to develop cases, I've been trying to write cases, I have written a couple of cases, and I have been also awarded a Best Case Study Award by 2 organizations from the US as well as from Asia, and I've been fortunate to get those Best Case Study Awards. And this case is the case that I have given to you right now, Louis Vuitton in Japan, has been recently accepted by Canada's Ivy Business School for publication process. And coming back to the case study process, since you are our professors, I would not venture, I would not waste your time to talk more about the briefing, more about the preliminary process of case writing, but at the same time, as I'm keen to talk about the process, I would like to put it in a systematic way. Case writer visiting an organization, collecting the data that comprise the case. Can you write a case with secondary data? What could be your answer?
No.
Yes.
Because there are cases published.
Yeah. So of course we can write case with secondary data as well. We can write case with primary data. We can also write case with secondary data. The only thing is that what extent the secondary data-based case would reflect the business issue, would reflect real-life issue. That's the only question we have to address. In case if we are in a question to develop a proper case based on secondary data, in case if you have extensive survey of literature about the issue, about the organization's activity, or organization's problem, or decision-making process, that can turn out as best case or classic case. And yeah, the most important thing is a case researcher is visiting an organization to talk about issue, to try to get the fresh insight, to try to get to know the inside story of the organization, and someone in the organization signs an official release document for publishing the case. That's the normal process most of the case writers or case publishers follow. And if you have to talk about case publishing process, what is called as case release from the organization that actually provides us the permission letter in the form of case release. Case release has got 4 purposes. It guarantees that the case writer has in fact gone to the field and done the work required to write someone else's story. And second point, case release letter authenticates the story. Third, release grants permission to use the case for education purpose. And the fourth point is release helps positive public relations between education institution and organization. But how does it work? Some of the organizations are too conservative, right? When we approach an organization, organizations would say no to us in the beginning to start with. And because they are concerned about what would happen in case if we talk about real life issues or the problems that they face in case if somebody is writing too much problematic things in a case and some of the organizations, public relations departments or corporate communication department, they are reluctant in giving us permission. That's a serious problem when we talk about case writing process. I will talk about my experiences later, what we have done or what kind of challenges I have faced while trying to get this kind of releases. So what we have to make it clear, or what we have to be positive about is, in case if we have a case release letter, this works as public relation activity between the education institution as well as the organization. Or in other words, I can put it, this works as a public relation activity between the case writer as well as the manager, whoever has given the permission or consent to use him as a focal person in the case writing process.